What do I have on my to-do list today that I do not need to have on my to-do list? Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dela. Y'all know I've been reading this book, Redeeming the Time. And so in chapter 3, he talks about the importance of descending down from a kingdom of noise, aka this world that we live in. And he tells this story in the beginning about Martin Luther King back when he was pastoring in Alabama. And he said that MLK, he was becoming so famous that he struggled to get along. Let me read the quote. He felt frustrated over his inability to retreat, concentrate, and reflect. And that felt so real, because even like as a mom, honestly, like that's how you feel. Like that's how I feel. I guess I feel frustrated with my inability to retreat, reflect, just hear my own thoughts. People are like, why do you wake up so early in the morning? So that I can think. That's why I wake up so early in the morning. So anyways, Dr. King ends up moving, and he felt, and I love what it says. It said he felt a moral obligation to move. Now, I can't get up and move, but I can give myself the ability to fight for reflection time. And I love how, even though Martin Luther King Jr. was for the people, but because he was for the people, he knew that he could not lead the people unless he was taking the time to get away, to reflect, because the inspiration that he was giving them, all of that was coming out of his quiet time. And so he knew that he had to, because he was for the people, he had to do something so that he could get that time back, so that he could be for the people. Y'all get what I'm saying? So the book goes through 5 ways noise limits our ability to redeem our time, and I'm gonna go through those ways with you guys today. Number 1, we don't think. We're always engaged with our mind and not our thoughts. That was so deep for me. Like because we are living in this kingdom of noise, we're not engaging with our thoughts, right? We're not thinking. We don't even have time to give ourselves to connect the dots and to connect the things that are put in our minds. And so that, and I'm probably jumping the gun, but obviously that inhibits our ability to create. Oh, there's this quote. A wealth of information creates a poverty of attention. Ooh. Number 2, noise limits our ability to be creative, which is, I already gave that away, but it limits our ability to be creative. Number 3, noise limits our ability to cultivate depth, right? Even if there's so much noise that we can't even go deeper on an idea or a thought. Number 4, noise limits our ability to be at peace. We are so anxious because we we are so anxious because we take in so much noise. People are like, my anxiety. And I'm not trying to limit the fact that anxiety is real and that people need help, and I get that. But why do we keep seeing an increase in anxiety in our society? We need to think about that. We really do. Number 5, it limits our ability to hear God's voice. And so I did a video, I don't know which one's coming out first, but just the benefits of me being off social media, and the biggest is that I need to hear God's voice. I desperately need to hear God's voice. I cannot continue to live in a kingdom of noise and expect for God to move and do things in my life, because I can't hear him. And so now I want to talk about some of the very practical suggestions that he had. And what I think is cool is that I didn't even realize that I was doing some of these things, but that's just how desperate I am just for quiet. And I'm an extrovert, but I need quiet. I need retreat time. I need time to think. I think too, because I create and I'm a creative and I speak and I do all these things, I need to hear from God. That stuff, I'm not pulling that from, my behind. So I need So I need to be with God. I need to be in his presence, and I need quiet. I need quiet. I don't experience a lot of that. One time my friend was over. I'm going to get to the suggestions he had. But one time my friend was over and we were cleaning the kitchen. She was helping me clean or whatever. I think I had just had a baby. And she was like, girl, you don't listen to music while you clean? Like, you're just in here cleaning with no music? I was like, are you kidding me? I don't ever get to hear nothing. I want to hear nothing. That's what she was like, excuse me. And we started cleaning in the quiet. But anyways, number 1, let friends curate info for you. You guys, I don't watch the news. Y'all know that. I don't scroll very often. And so my husband and I both, our TV isn't on very often. We can go so long without knowing what's going on in the real world. and it's been good for us. It's been great. And so letting your friends cure info for you. When Kobe died, I love Kobe. I love Kobe Bryant so much. And so my roommate from college, y'all, called me on my way from church, and we hadn't talked in so long, so I just knew something was wrong. She was like, Della, did you hear that Kobe died? And for me, that's important information, okay? And so it's so funny how when big things happen, my friends bring it to me. My mom is really good at this. She watches the news, okay? And so if anything's happening, she'll be like, oh, the virus is back. And I'm like, oh, okay, good to know. Good to know, you know, and I can take the precautions or do what I need to do. Or, you know, me and Myra will be so bad. My husband will be out there on the land just working, and mom will be like, you know, it's a thunderstorm, a hail warning or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, let me govern myself accordingly. But I would have no idea. And then number two, if you feel like, Del, I cannot just go without the news. I need to know, I need to be informed. And some of you, your job requires that, you know, like, I get it. I'm coming from a place of privilege of just not completely being able to shut off the news. But a less drastic approach is to not just swim in it. Don't just jump in an affinity pool full of information. Curate it for yourself, right? Find a trusted source that comes at you in a calm, professional. If you're a professional, you need to know the professional news. Get it from a professional source. Don't just scroll Facebook trying to find, you know, just all the things. Like, let it come to you how it needs to come to you. I know there's like podcasts and stuff that can give you 5 minutes of the news on your way to work if you need that. Number three, when it comes to information, is entertain filtered content. Right? Instead of just being on social media scrolling or doing it. This is why I love books. I love listening to people who took the time to write a book. So if you wrote a book, I'm more likely to entertain your podcast, right? I wrote a book. If you want it, get it in the link below. But there's something about writing a book. The person was disciplined enough to sit down and to bring all their thoughts together. And I find that the things that they're writing and they're talking about, they don't make me feel anxious. They don't feel like trendy, because books are meant to stand the test of time. Now, I know everybody and their mama trying to write a book now, and you can, and chat GPT can write a book. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who live lives, full lives, and they sit down and they put all the information together for you. I love grabbing books of people that I love and trust, because it's just like if I get to have coffee with them. And to me, I just love that more than just scrolling. Like kids today, like they'll be like, oh, everything I need to know I learned from TikTok. I'm like, ain't no way. And some of my friends, they be fighting with me. They're like, girl, yes. No, ain't no way that you can learn everything you need to learn from TikTok. Get some books. And number 4, he talks about announcing or attaining your independence from social media. And so I believe he's not on social media, or if he is, I think he is, but he checks it on his desktop 2 times a day. And so I just came off of a 90-day fast where I did a 90-day challenge with some girls that were trying to accomplish some goals. And one of the things that I asked them, I said, hey, step away from social media for 90 days because it is such a distraction. Put social media in its place. I think it's a beautiful thing. We wouldn't know each other, or you know what I mean? Like, this wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for social media. So I think it is a beautiful thing. You will never hear me just bash social media altogether, but if you are addicted to it, I think anything you're addicted to is a negative thing. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to fast from social media, because I don't want anything to have bondage over my life. I don't want that. I want total freedom. And so you can just decide, hey, one thing I was doing before, I might do the desktop thing. I like that because it's just so awkward to be on Instagram on your desktop. And so I feel like you would get off more. But one thing that I would do is I would have a chunk of time in the evening that I would get on, respond if I wanted to post a story, because I love stories. That's how I catch up with what's going on in my friends' lives and what they can catch up with what's going on in my life, because we can't talk on the phone as often because of the season of life. So that's one thing. Number 5, parent your phone. I love this. Put your phone to bed. Just like your phone has a bedtime. So for us, if we have teenagers in our house, their phones are going in the phone jack on the island. You don't get to just be in your room scrolling all day. Your brain needs a break. It's less about you getting in trouble. Well, it's about that too. But your brain and your soul and your spirit needs a break. Put your phone to bed. My phone goes to bed in here, obviously in my room, but it goes on the jack, and the jack is far away from me. I'm not just in the bed. You know, like that's not good. It never turns out good for me. Number 6, get comfortable with the crevices of your day, like the little cracks of time that you have in your day. Be okay with being bored. You wonder why you get the best ideas in the shower, because you can't take your phone in the shower unless you found a way to take your phone in the shower, and that's a little weird. But be like, welcome them, like be okay with it, be okay with the time it takes to go from this place to that place, be okay, you know, with just the times in your day where you get peace and quiet. The number 7 way that you can escape the kingdom of noise is to take a walk. I love that he said every religion kind of has like a spiritual discipline, and he said that for Christians he believes it's walking. And I believe that, because there's so many times, because we don't have an official one, right? But there's so many times where I go for a walk and God just begins to download things into my spirit, and I get clarity on things that maybe I've been working all day trying to figure out, or if I'm trying to write a sermon or trying to write a talk or a video, and I'll just walk. And something about walking just, man, answers my questions. And go unplugged. Go unplugged for a walk. It is a beautiful thing to be stuck between nature and yourself and have nothing in your ear. It's a beautiful thing. Number 8, write to think. Bring back journaling. Guys, I love journaling. It is one of my daily disciplines. It is the reason why I have not gone insane, right? It is. Journaling can be free counseling. It can be all these things. You need to be journaling. Go to Ross. I think they're $3.99. You can get some beautiful journals. Amazon, whatever you got to do. Etsy, support a small business. Shoot, maybe I'll make a journal. Will y'all buy it from me? Journal. Write your thoughts out. Just write. Like, people think you have to have prompts or be deep and profound. Sometimes I open my journal and I say, "Dear Lord," you don't have to write to the Lord. You can just journal. I'm tired and I don't know how I'm gonna make it through the day. Give me the strength to love these kids and to love my spouse. That's the journal entry for the day. But it's just a way to get away from the noise, to become one with your thoughts, and to figure them out, to shift through your thoughts. You may be feeling some type of way and not even realize why you're feeling that way. There's been times where I just got my pen, and because it's a daily discipline, and I had been writing and writing and writing, and as I'm writing, God begins to reveal to me what it is that I'm going through, what it is that's giving me a hard time. And number 9, the final one, he suggests put the quiet back in quiet time. And so, you know, you see people on the internet, they're like, oh my gosh, it's my daily quiet time with the Lord, and you know, all these things. And we're still, even in our quiet times, we're just yep, or we're reading, and we're sometimes, and I said this in one of my shorts, sometimes it don't have to be that deep. Like, sometimes in the morning, I just want to commune with God. Like, I don't need to do my deep dive Bible study. I don't have time for that anyways, because somebody's gonna wake up. But just sit in his presence. Go outside. I love going outside. If I'm having a hard time, it's a hard week, a long week, a tough season, one of the things I love to do is just to get outside and just be quiet with God. And that's the quiet time. I'm just having tea with him, and I'm just letting him sift through my thoughts, and I'm just looking, and I'm just sitting, and I'm just being, and I'm just praying, and I'm not even reading my Bible, because we sometimes can get so addicted to checking a box that we're just reading our Bible to check a box. No, I'm just sitting. God, what do you want to say to me? What do you want to speak to me? What do I have on my to-do list today that I do not need to have on my to-do list? Where am I doing way too much? Why do I feel overwhelmed? And I'm just thinking through these things. I'm not talking, I'm just listening. Or sometimes I just get up and I just sit there. And feelings begin to come up, and things that I'm wrestling with begin to come up. And then I get settled with this sense of peace. But you can never get settled with this sense of peace if every time, everything you're doing, and I get it, I like this chapter was so challenging for me. I get podcasts help me get through my day a lot too. Podcasts, videos. I'm so thankful for stuff like this. Like, it just makes otherwise what will be a lonely season less lonely. If I'm washing dishes, if I'm folding clothes, doing these things that we have to do as moms, I love getting through it with like a big sister or somebody that I like to listen to, who just, you know, that loves the Lord, and it's just good. It's positive. I recommend you do that. But I also recommend you get quiet, that you reject the kingdom of noise. That's where your healing is going to happen. So I believe I'm going to go through a few more concepts from this book. It's been kind of different from like your typical time management strategies. I will do a very practical time management video, but these are things that we need to be thinking through. How are we managing? Because if you never have quiet time, I would argue that you are not managing your time well, because you don't. And people are like, I don't have time for quiet time. And it's like, one of the things, I think it was in this book too, the busier Jesus got, the more he realized he needed to spend time with the Father. And I want to have that same approach. The busier I get, the more I need to lean in to spend time with the Father. That's it. I love y'all. See you in the next video. Bye.